safe. I enjoyed having you on Friday.
I'm going back. Here you are. Thinking about you yesterday. How I just yeah, that's what I
Good observation.
No, but he knows it. I'm not telling him anything he doesn't know. I've done it.
Good morning. Good morning. Let's begin our service this morning with our musician today, Kay Davis. We were set up with Brian, who was here last week, but his beloved went to the hospital at 2:35 a.m. with the flu, and so he's home taking care of the toddlers today. So I tell Kay says, that's fine, we'll just do it. So Kay, before you sit down, now that you've sat down, we're going to do our opening song. You can sit or you can stand, whatever you'd like. And we're going to begin with a song, Our God is Love.
This is a song that I heard up in Flagstaff that I thought was so far-reaching. That's all I can say about that one. All right. So I want you all to sing it as soon as you have heard how it goes. It's very simple. Our God is love. Our race is human. Our religion is oneness. It's the creed of the heart. Our God is love. Our race is human. Our religion is oneness. Amen. Our God is love. Our race is human. Our religion is oneness. It's the creed of the heart. Our God is love. Our race is human. Our religion is oneness. Amen. Again, our God is love. Our race is human. Our religion is oneness. It's the creed of the heart. Our God is love. Our race is human. Our religion is oneness. Amen.
Yeah. Say hello to your neighbors.
Hello, neighbor. Hey. Actually, it is just going to take. Well, yeah, but somebody made a mistake growing up. But that's okay.
doing good.
Okay, because I know you were in the hospital and all that kind of stuff.
Well, that was just an overnight thing. Still, it wasn't a place I wanted to be. You're right.
Blood pressure down now?
Yeah.
I mean, reasonably down?
Yeah, and they gave me some more medicine. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to take it.
I know. I'm thinking of that in another way, too. Oh, my God.
I know.
We have a lot of visitors today that we would like to welcome. We have a visitor here for the first time. If you would introduce yourself, we'd really appreciate it.
Hello, my name is Lorraine Bell. I do live in Sun Lakes. I live here.
Thank you for joining us. Do we have other newcomers today?
Hi, I'm Jim, and I live in Sun Lakes for the next 3 months, I guess.
Aha! Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I've been here before.
You've been here before, okay.
This is Joyce. They know me. They don't know me.
No. I used to come 2 years ago.
Oh, well, kind of new to some people.
I live in Sun Lakes, and I'm gone for the summers, but I used to come read in the winters.
Oh, wonderful. So you're returning. Well, thank you for coming today. Happy to have you. And so we do have a statement for our newcomers. Let's all say that together. We love you, we bless you, and we welcome you. And our opening prayer this morning will be by Reverend Maria Blanding.
Let's just take this moment now to bring ourselves present into this room and to know that God is all there is. That God that fills us and surrounds us with love and protection. That God that's always within us. And we know this morning that as our new troops head over to the Middle East, we know that God goes with them. And we also know that God is with us today as we open our minds and our hearts to all that we can learn this morning in our wonderful service here. We bless Rev Jeanne as she begins it, and we bless every one of you as we all take part in our wonderful church. And so it is.
And now let's take time to say our mission statement together. We are a spiritual center of love and light, teaching and supporting one another in transforming our lives by living the truths taught by Jesus Christ and other master teachers. Let's just take that in for a moment. Just acknowledging within yourself that statement that we are living the truths as taught by Jesus Christ and other ascended masters. And now we have our vision statement that we will say together. Our world of oneness, where all people are free to express their divine potential. Hey, God. And now it is my pleasure to introduce to you our board president, who's going to come up and bless us with a special reading today. The special reading is whatever you choose to talk about. And I feel truly grateful to have Kenny Reinhardt come up and speak with us today.
When Jeannie asked me to do this, I spent parts of 3 days putting together a very good talk. Very good talk. And then I gave it to Shirley to review. And she wasn't impressed at all. See, this is my good talk. So she said it wasn't inspiring. So you get this.
I said it was a bio.
I thought it was pretty good myself. But what I want to talk about is service. And part of it, well, most of it is my service. And so I'm going to start with when I was about 20 years of age. And I joined the federal government after college. And service of my country by working for the federal government, where is that better? Yes. Oh my goodness! Yes. And after about 2 years, I got a notice in the mail that said, "Greetings. We need you." I did not want to go, but they did not care. So I ended up in Germany for over a year and a half, and I got to see and do many things that I would not have done otherwise. And I made the most of it by visiting many places, art galleries, and other locations throughout Europe while I was over in Germany. I even learned to speak the language while I was over there. Wow. I've since forgotten everything except for the GI slang. That's probably what I should have forgotten. But anyway, then I returned and I continued to serve with the federal government. And I was able to do many things and have the opportunity to be involved in things that are still standing the test of time and will live on long after I'm gone. So there's a sense of, I feel good about it because I know I could have made a lot more money working in private industry rather than for the government. But there was a sense of doing something good for my country. And so that feeling will never leave me. And then afterwards, I retired and then was a consultant. And then I found out, yeah, I could make a lot more money in private industry. And then I happened to meet Shirley. And she kept giving me more closet space. So I'm here in beautiful Sun Lakes, where this is just another beautiful day. And my service started very early with my church and my faith. I started with the Methodist Church and then continued. I was baptized in a Baptist church because my wife at the time was going to a Baptist church, married by a Presbyterian minister. And then we moved to Pinedale, Wyoming. I had a choice between the Mormon church, Catholic church, or the Congregational church. So we became Congregationalists. And I was appointed to the board. And I accepted jobs on the board that no one else wanted to do, like hiring a new minister. And the church owned a house right next door to the church. It was a fairly large congregation. And during that period of time, I even I conducted the service of worship and gave the sermons. And my wife did all the music, just to hold it together until we were able to get a new minister, which we did. And then moved to Madison, Wisconsin for a year, where I obtained a master in regional planning, and then moved to Reno. And I had a new minister in a congregational church. Reverend Ray was kind of a character. He was a friend, but as many ministers are, they do not take very good care of the budget. And I happen to be on the board of directors along with the comptroller for the University of Nevada, Reno. And he kept wanting to spend money that the church did not have. And he was telling us to go on faith. Well, faith will only carry you so far. And so he would have the board pray for the two of us that we might see the light. And when we did not see the light, he asked the congregation. We still did not see the light. He didn't get his money. So, and then we moved to Phoenix, and I lived in Scottsdale, and we joined a large congregational church. And that went very well, and I served on the board there. And took over as board secretary for my wife, who was board secretary, and she resigned for some reason, but I was appointed. And then she became board secretary for a Presbyterian church. So we joined the Presbyterian church. And I, again, was appointed to the board. And became an elder, and once you're an elder in a Presbyterian church, you're an elder forever. So I'm still an elder in the Presbyterian church. And soon left, well, not soon, after about 6-7 years, I left that church because on the board, the vote was generally 11-1. Me being the one. You can see where this is going. So I resigned and we moved to Cave Creek. I didn't serve on the board that day, but my wife did. And then the last contract I had as a consultant was very lucrative. My wife thought we had made enough money that she could afford a divorce. So she did. And I've been happy ever since. Because a few months after that, I met Shirley. Well, yeah, 17 years prior to that, I knew Shirley. She was in the office. And my wife told me one time she was having a medical scare, and she told me that if something ever happens to me, you need to get with Shirley because she's a wonderful lady and you need to be with a woman. And I remembered that. So I got with Shirley. And she's been mad ever since. So, now, we came to Sun Lakes and we had joined All Faith. The first service of worship in Sun Lakes that I attended with Shirley was at All Faith. And then she had a friend who said this minister who was just recently fired from All Faith had formed her own church, Desert Chapel, and you ought to go there. So Shirley and I did. And after we attended for about 6 months or so, I was appointed to the board. And the first thing they did was name me president of the board. So that brings me to today, where next month I'll finish 16 years serving as sheriff board president. And we became unity when things looked rather bleak. And I knew we needed to do something, and I tried to join with All Faith so that we could get back together. They did not want to do that. And I took a lot of heat for that. But I asked Joan, well, what about Joan Price, who was our minister? What about becoming part of Unity, because I felt we needed an identity rather than Desert Chapel. And she was a licensed Unity teacher, the same as Tony is. And so we did. I sent a letter to the headquarters of Unity, and we, after about 3 years, we were accepted as a full member of Unity Church. And that's where we stand today. And if you can see where this is going, I did have an ulterior motive. So, you'll see on the back here, you'll see a letter that Julia will be sending out to everyone, along with a ballot. And it announces the annual meeting, which will be the 28th of February, which is the last Sunday in February. And in that, attached to that is a ballot. And it's been pointed out to me I can't spell because I misspelled ballot, but that's okay. You know what it means. And you'll be given 3 choices. And we discussed it at the board in our last board meeting. But the last Sunday in June, we had an attendance of 40 people attending the service of worship. The first Sunday back in September, we had an attendance of 33. And for both June and September, we had an average attendance of 33. And we also have had a corresponding increase in our income, which leads me to believe that perhaps we should be holding service of worship throughout the year. But that's not a decision that I feel, certainly I can't make, and I don't believe the board should be making it. I think the congregation should be making that decision. Therefore, you'll see a ballot with 3 choices. And you have until February 28th to mark the ballot and turn it in, probably to myself, and we will count those ballots on February 28th and let you know the results. But the 3 choices are to remain the same as we are, with July and August off, or to just have August off, or to have service of worship throughout the year. And you already know where I stand, because since Jeannie has become our minister, our attendance has increased considerably, and our income has increased considerably. We still have some problems. And I don't know what I have said will inspire anyone, but I hope so. Because Mark Meeker and myself are going off the board February the 28th. We will have served 2 3-year terms, and we can not succeed ourselves without a 1-year break in service. And if you can have a real impact by serving on the board, and I know I have in one way or another throughout the years. And I'll give you one example. Is when I had a beef with the headquarters for Unity. I did not feel they were being honest and forthright with their local churches. In fact, I felt they were being downright dishonest. And I sent letters to the worldwide ministries, and I not only sent them a copy, but I sent it to the board of trustees, each board of trustees for worldwide ministries, which got a lot of people's attention. And I did it a couple of times. But I checked yesterday, and they have revised their way of doing business. So you can make a difference in that way. Now, I did forget one part of my talk, and you're going to get it now. And that's servicing within the community. And I have served at the Desert Botanical Garden now for 16 years. And I'll give you an example of how you can make a difference in people's lives by community service. I had this couple come through the butterfly pavilion. He was very black, she was very white, and they had 2 little girls coming into the butterfly pavilion. I spent, when they first came in, I spent some time with those 2 little girls explaining butterflies and how they ate, and the plants they ate on, and so on. And just before they was getting ready to leave, we had a butterfly release. So I went over and took the butterflies, who we had 2 in wax paper packages, little envelopes. So I gave one to each little girl and told them to open them up, and then the butterflies would warm up and fly away. And then I said, well, your father needs one to do it. So I gave that. Now your mother. And I stayed with that family for quite a bit while I was passing out other envelopes to other people. But when that family left, the father come up to me and he said, you don't know what you did. This is something my 2 little girls will never forget, this experience. And it's all because of you. And later I got to thinking about that. A mixed race family. had probably not been treated in that manner before. So you can make a difference. In fact, I led a tour yesterday afternoon at the garden. So I get to meet people from all over the world. And I know I can make a difference in their lives. And someone, 2 people that are going to replace Mark and myself can make a difference. So thank you.
Thank you, Kenny. Can we just raise our hands and bless Kenny, sending light and love and gratitude for all of his service for this church and in the world.
Thank you, Kenny.
God bless you. Thank you. And now we get the rest of the story. Come on up, Shirley.
This is Shirley and Kenny's day, isn't it?
By the way, we're starting our 25th year together now.
Wow.
Yeah. I feel very blessed that he followed his ex-wife's advice. Well, today is the topic titled Relax. I give my mind and body permission to rest and relax. Doesn't that sound well after the holidays when we've all been scurrying around? And from the Bible, it says, for many were coming and going, and they had no leisure even to eat. While these words of Scripture were written long ago, they accurately describe the frantic, swarming pace of life so many people find themselves experienced today. The invitation from Jesus to visit a deserted place to rest speaks directly to my soul. While I may not be by an ocean shore or on a forested mountaintop, I can go to a deserted place that is always available to me. At first, dedication and practice are needed to journey inward and find my way to silent peace. I learned to stop and give my mind and my body permission to relax. I come to know relaxation is worthy of my time, vital for my self-care, and so essential for my personal and spiritual growth. From Psalms 23, 2nd to 3rd, he makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters, and he restores my soul.
Thank you, Shirley. And now, Kay, if you will come up and lead us in a meditation song. I will all sing together in the silence. And then Reverend Juliet Bristow will do our meditation this morning. You're welcome to come up, Juliet, if you want to now.
In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. God is there. peace is there. I am there.
There's a daily word said, relax. So we're just letting and visualizing a beautiful light. It's entering the top of our head. And it's God's light, God's love. And we know this to be so. So we relax and let it be. Let that light shine right to the top of your head and just let it flow. It's like a caress, a lullaby, a nurturing. Relax the shoulders. A lot of that tension and thoughts I have to do and I have to do. So just put a light between those thoughts. Let that light shine into you and from you. And you can feel the love, the nurture. And as we're in this place of relaxing, nurturing, let's just start sending our thoughts of love, God's love, to all around the world. And it's sort of like even that relaxation is, because that relaxation is kind of like peace. So we just sense it, we feel it, know it to be. This love, this light, flowing all around the world. Relaxing the tension, bringing love and light and awareness of God's love. And you can almost feel it relaxing. Shoulders from others are relaxing. Peace and love is coming to the thoughts, the minds all over the world. And with this, we know it to be true because we feel it. We can feel it deep within us. And we can do so much with our light. And we can do so much with the love that comes from us. And we can do so much. And as we know this, it's almost like we just know it. It is, that's the way it is. It's the truth. And because we are who we are, and know what we know, and are in touch with this God's love, we know it to be so. And we do know it to be so. So let yourself take a nice deep breath now. You're still feeling that relaxation. You're still sensing that love and that light of God's. And you're still knowing that it is so. And let it be. And let it be. Another deep breath and start coming up. Coming up. And keeping that light within you, shining brightly. And so it is. Amen.
And now we have a beautiful song by Kay Davis. Well, I think it's by Daniel Nehemiah. Yes.
When things go wrong, it's natural to wonder, what celestial rule did I break? When things go right, it's logical to ponder, what credit can I take? But the truth is so much easier. I don't need a master plan. I can live here in the moment, 'cause my life is in good hands. I don't need to know where the wind blows, 'cause God knows. I don't need to know what the future holds, 'cause God knows. I may never know how pain ends, how my heart mends. I can just let go, 'cause God knows. But still I find I'm crying out for answers. Guess I'm still craving control. And still I find I'm afraid of taking chances, as if I could damage my soul. But at this moment I remember, it comes so clear to me, that the minute I surrender, I'm as safe as I can be. I don't need to know where the time goes, 'cause God knows. I don't need to know what the future holds, 'cause God knows. I need never know how pain ends, how my heart mends. I can just let go. I can just let go. I can just let go, 'cause God knows.
Awesome. So adorable. Thank you, Kate. Well, we're running short on time today. I'm gonna have to cut my talk a little bit. It's all right. So the theme for this month is freedom through flow. Each week we're going to talk a little bit more, and next week I'm going to talk about half of what I was going to talk about today. That's okay. Okay, so my hope is that you're going to be deeply inspired this month to feel yourself opening the floodgates to your good. And then you'll be invited today to stand, if we get to it, to the knowing of the truth of who you are. Our spiritual community is very diverse. We have many people from different faiths here, from science of mind, many people here, and then, of course, unity. And we are very inclusive of all of it. So inspired today by the teachings of the Fillmores and the Holmes, my intention today is to create a space where the revelation of the abundant flow of good is embraced, and any illusion of lack or limitation is released. So you'll be invited to anchor in your own intentions for prosperity today. So Happy New Year! Woo! 2020! Julia said to me today, 2020, clear vision. 2020, I never got that. So cool, clear vision. My prayer for myself and for you is to love myself just a lot more this year. Love myself. And when I love myself, that's easy to love you. And you, easy to love me, because I love myself. So that's been my focus for the new year. So let's talk a little bit about God is all there is. We've heard this our whole lives. God is all there is. But do we live God is all there is? Do you look at your neighbor and see God?
Easy one.
I am the way, the truth, and the life. John 14:6. In the biblical quote, the I is referred to God, of course. God, the one power, the one source, and the one life. Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore wrote in Talks of Truth, God is the silent voice that speaks into visibility all the life there is. This power builds with hands deft beyond the comprehension of man and keeps going with all the intricate machinery, universe upon universe, one within the other, yet it never conflicts. All its building is from center to circumference. From each one of us, from our center out, and it never conflicts. This is a spiritual principle. God is all there is. It is a golden thread that's woven throughout the world of various spiritual philosophies and religious beliefs. This, too, is one of the fundamental propositions in our New Thought teachings. Joel Goldsmith, who was an American spiritual author, teacher, spiritual healer, and many refer to him as a modern mystic, wrote in his book, Practicing the Presence, there is only one power, and God is that power. There is no power in effect, and there is no power apart from God. God is the life of all being. The truth has been in existence throughout all time and has been known to all peoples. This is the spiritual truth that we must embrace and bring into our consciousness if we are to open the floodgates of good. We must recognize that the one source is omnipresence. And it is not God and the planets in the solar system. It's not God and my dog. It's not God and this body. But the truth is God as the planets. God as my dog. Dog is God spelled backwards. God as this body. This recognition that there is only God is the jumping off point of our spiritual work Why? Because we must believe in God or pure consciousness. We must believe in God as pure consciousness if we are to use our spiritual powers. How can you use your spiritual powers if you don't believe in God? If you don't stand in that awareness? H. Emily Cady, who was a true holistic pioneer, a turn-of-the-century homeopathic doctor, one of the first female physicians in America, and a metaphysician, Dr. Cady treated her patients medically and spiritually. I love Dr. Cady's clear and powerful declaration of the truth. There is but one hand in the universe, and that hand is God's hand. As Rumi so eloquently stated, you are not a drop of water in the ocean, but rather the entire ocean in a drop. You. So how better to begin understanding our relationship to God, to spirit, to the divine that is all. We are constructed of the only material that exists, God's stuff. And so created, we must then have the attributes of the divine. Charles Fillmore on Talks on Truth says, there is but one I am. It cannot be cut into parts. It is principle. That which says, I am in all men, women, and children is identical. So it is that the attributes that Spirit expresses are ours to express. As we understand and acknowledge our heritage and power, it becomes usable for us. So we must begin to understand how do we use this power within us, and then we can use it. So it's like building that relationship. I'm a Nam Yoga instructor, and the first 12 days of January are so important to us because there's a belief that if you do your work the first 12 days of January, it corresponds to each month. And so we pray for an hour, sometimes an hour and a half with different mantras. And the whole time you're consciously focusing on embodying light, being God, being that light for a whole hour. And you can imagine how the rest of your day goes. Incredible. Things just flow. Because you're immersing yourself in that relationship of spirit, being in your body, embodying your body. Like we've learned in the energy codes this last half of the year. Embodying God inside of your body, making that relationship known to yourself so that you can use it. It's often said that the most important part of our spiritual work is embodying whose and who we are. If we truly understood the vast, limitlessness nature of spirit, as well as our relationship to infinite spirit, then truly anything we state will easily manifest into being. It's interesting, isn't it, that Jesus, when he prayed, automatically, everything, when he prayed from that place, he knew exactly who he was, and he knew what God was. And he totally was aware of this relationship he had to God, which is why he was able to manifest like that. So by understanding our unique heritage as a purposeful creation, we grow in understanding of how we are connected. And in fact, we are one in God. And in that awareness, we can open the floodgates of good in our lives. So this will be continued next week. I'm a stickler for time. And I respect all of your times as well, so we'll continue this next week. So I'm going to close. Oh, there's a great story next week. I'm going to close with our affirmation. I identify. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about those next week. Thank you, Mark. Let's say our affirmation together. I identify in my mind and I embody in my heart what it is I desire to experience in my life. Amen. And now let's have Kay come up and we'll do another song. And you can prepare. Our offering is coming after the song.
We are connected by the heart. Where do you end? Where do I start? Anything you pray for, if fear is in your way, I am here to listen to anything you need to say. Your prayer is my prayer too. Your prayer is my prayer too. Whatever you feel, I feel too. You're a part of me, and I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. My prayer too. I hear the worries that are in your way. There's nothing I can do to take your pain away, but I'll help you reconnect with that voice that's deep inside. Let angels wrap you in their love and let spirit be your guide. Your prayer is my prayer too. Your prayer is my prayer too. Whatever you feel, I feel too. You're a part of me, and I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. My prayer too. My prayer too.
So with a profound attitude of gratitude, we now have an opportunity to share our tithes and our offerings. As the ushers come forward and begin the offering, we invite you into this beautiful song, I Am So Blessed. Oh, I apologize. Let's say our offering blessing together first. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. I am so blessed. Thank you, God.
grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We will say our offering gratitude. We give thanks for these many blessings of today, and know that they are a symbol of the inexhaustible substance of the universe. I give thanks that 10 times as much is now on its way to me and quickly manifests in perfect ways. And our announcements quickly. We have Reiki Share Group meeting on Tuesdays at 9:30 a.m. in the Cotton Room, Country Club Room A2. If you would like prayer today, in the back corner, Reverend Tony Corrigan will be our prayer partner. Today is Matthew's Crossing, so Ellen is here. Would you like to say something?
Well, just, the end of your figures for the group.
Okay.
Unity is an amazing group. The food that we collected was 223 pounds. But the cash that came from this group is $2,391 for the year. And that is awesome. Really awesome. So, Reach Out Sun Lakes, which is our group that collects, we collected 4,552 pounds of food and 5,434 pounds of $5,434 cash from several different groups. But Unity is great.
Yes, we are. Thank you, Ellen. That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing. We also have our Unity Explorers meeting this Thursday, January 9th, 10 a.m. in the Phoenix Room at the Cottonwood Country Club, presented by Kay Wilkie, who's in the back here. She went on travels. She's going to be presenting her travel log pictures, talking about all these stand countries near Russia. Betty, would you like to say something?
Just real quickly, I know we're short on time, but I just wanted to make you aware, if you're not already aware, that the announcement that was put in the splash had an incorrect date, and that's my fault. We were going for having all of our things on Wednesday, but when I went to look for the room, that Wednesday was already taken. So we're going to meet on Thursday of this week. So please tell your friends and neighbors. This is going to be a wonderful program. And so far we only have 8 names on that list back there. We need to know how many so we know how many chairs to set up. So please put your name on that list. I will take it home today and guard it with my life.
And correction, I was not traveling in Russia. There's quite a relationship between Russia and the stands that I will explain.
Thank you. And then I'm teaching a class at Bettina Baker's house next Sunday at 12:45, so you'll have time after church to go get something to eat. And then we're going to meet at Bettina Baker's at 12:45. There's flyers in the back if you're interested. This is for people that are scared to do the daily word or to do a special reading. That, every one of you are unique and special, and we want to know who you are. And if the only thing stopping you from coming up here is, I don't want to public speak. I have been speaking most of my life, and I was a Toastmaster for 10 years. I was a mentor of Toastmasters for at least 8 years. I have so much to offer you. So if you're interested, come. We would love to have you, and it's going to be fun too. Julia?
We did some house cleaning this morning, and on the back table are several tablecloths and some candles. So if any of you want any tablecloths or candles, please feel free to take them. Whatever is not taken will be left here for the Women's Association. I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other announcements? I think we've covered them all. All right, let's stand, and Ernie, if you would lead us in the peace song.
be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you.
It's kind of cool. It reminded me of times that I've been to church religious.
Once you've made it, many people here have been our ministers in that or have gone there, yeah. So they're very much alike.
It's that song called just like
yeah.
That was always close to service.
Well, our minister, and she has changed the words just a little bit.
Yeah, I was singing some other words and the screen.
Yeah. We hope you come back.
There's a possibility. I missed a bike ride this morning. We'll see.
Yeah, it's good to try out the various things. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Juliet.
Yeah, no worries.